I just wanted to take a few minutes to start off our program to thank all of you for everything you've done to help women in need and help bring an end to abortion in Rockford. What we saw here in this city was rather unique. Rockford's abortion facility opened in 1985 and was run by some people who not only took human life, but they did it in a way through their signs and their words and actions that clearly showed they were mocking God by what they were doing. I'm not going to go through the litany of signs and things they've had in the windows. Most of you have seen that, and really it's a good time to kind of forget about those things and put them in the past now. But a scripture passage came to mind when I think back on all this. When Jesus met Thomas after the resurrection, Thomas was doubting. He didn't believe. He wouldn't believe without seeing with his own eyes. And Jesus said to him, "Blessed are you, Thomas, for you have seen and believed. But more blessed are those who have not seen and have believed." And you people, the pro-life community of Rockford, for 25 years, endured the most difficult conditions, both weather and from the security staff in the abortion clinic, from a local press that a lot of times did not cover the story, covered it wrongly, or even printed lies about what you were doing. You did not see the results of what you were doing before your eyes, but that never stopped you from loving the people of this city, from loving these women who were in very difficult conditions, from offering them real help and real hope. Without seeing the results of what you were doing, you endured. Whether you were people who came to the clinic to pray on the sidewalks or you prayed in your homes and churches, you continued to pray and to offer help and support. I knew anytime we had a mother who chose life, all I had to do was send out an email and we would get all the support that we would need financially and people who would be willing to help the mothers with whatever they needed. You really showed this city what it means to love God and to love your neighbor. The situations at the clinic were not always great. So sometimes they were a little confrontational, but that comes with the territory when human life, innocent human life, is being taken. But again, all of you in this room and the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other pro-lifers in this city continue to respond with generosity, with mercy, with forgiveness and love. We had so many men and women who were involved in abortions, who became sidewalk counselors, who stood outside of this clinic in love for others who were in the situation they were years before. And so many people were healed by your actions. So when Jesus said, "Blessed are those, or more blessed are those who have not seen and yet believed," that is really a description of the Rockford pro-life community. For 25 years, you did not always see the good of what you were doing, but you endured. And nothing slowed you down. And in the end, through your faithfulness, your prayer, your sacrifice, and your love, God, not us, but God, brought an end to this abortion clinic. Now, that doesn't mean our work is over. We're still in the process of helping a number of young ladies who chose life, and we're going to stick with them as long as they need us, and for as many years as they need us. And that is what this is all about, guys. It's just being there to love and support each other. So I just wanted to thank all of you for everything you've done, whether you were a person who prayed in the clinic, prayed at your church, prayed at home with your prayer groups, offered financial support, anything. All of this together has brought an end to this abortion facility, and we now have a community that instead of offering the death of a child in the womb as an answer to a very real and difficult situation, we're, as a community, offer life and love and support. And that's where we are going to remain. That's where we're going to be. I'd like to invite Lisa Johnson up here now just to kind of give us a little information on both Abby Figge and Neil Ryland. These are a couple of our pro-life families who are facing difficult situations. When Lisa's making her way up here, I really would have liked to thank people individually for the so many things they've done to bring an end to abortion in Rockford, but we just don't have the time. But I do feel the need to recognize three people who are here, because all three of these people, from the day this Rockford Abortion Clinic opened in 1985, have been at this clinic every week for over 25 years. Marie Gestrich is here. So, Mary Jane Stephan. Another one who's been at the clinic for 25 years. Between the four of these people, they have literally spent 100 years praying outside of this clinic and offering help to women in need. And that's just a testimony to the love of the Rockford ProLife community.
I also feel the need to mention that, Gracie, no. Kevin Rylett has spent so many hours Kevin is really, he's our fearless leader. He has really been the one who's kind of headed up everything, and he doesn't like to have people talk about him, so I will keep it short. But Kevin, we love you and we appreciate you, and you're an amazing person. We're so blessed to know you. And the babies will no longer die in Rockford because of your sacrifice and what you have done for them.
Amen.
Kevin actually asked me to come up and talk to you a little bit about Neil Rylett and Abby Figge. They're both very ill, and most of you probably know who they are, but I'll just kind of give you a little background. Lisa Rylett is one of our very faithful sidewalk counselors. She was so intricately involved in the first 40 Days for Life that we had here in Rockford. Her son Neil, instead of going to college right now, he is battling for his life with leukemia right now, and they have actually brought him home. The doctor says that they can't really do a whole lot more for him, but you know what? God is bigger, and we are going to keep fighting and praying for him. if she'll let you. Can you be brave? Can you be brave? Please. So we need to continue praying for Neil because God is bigger than leukemia, and we're not going to give up on him. And I don't know that they have a trip scheduled yet, but he is hopefully going to be going to Lourdes. So hopefully we can see some miracles for him. Healed as well. On the other side of that slip of paper is Don Brady's name and address. His birthday is coming up March 4th. If you guys wouldn't mind sending him a card. He and his wife have had that Labor News open, and for us, really, I really think that they've kind of stayed open to take care of us and supply a place for us to get warm and get some coffee when we've been out on the sidewalks at the mill. And he's going to be closing down the Labor News because the mill is closed, so there's no more sidewalk counselors. But if you could just go ahead and send him, so he would just be tickled to have so many birthday wishes. It's the least we can do after all that they have done for us. So thank you very much.
Privilege now to introduce you to our speaker for the evening, Eric Scheidler. In the late 1970s, early 80s, there was really not great leadership in the pro-life movement. And that's when a man named Joe Scheidler and his wife Ann started the Pro-Life Action League in Chicago. I believe it was 1980. And the Pro-Life Action League, in my opinion, is the most effective pro-life organization in the country because they do everything. The main thing they do is they are on the streets. with the Face the Truth tours, with sidewalk counseling, but they've been so innovative in so many ways with their programs of talking to the abortionists, converting the abortionists, and doing so many things that were new and never done before in the pro-life movement. Eric is the oldest of 7 children, I believe, and I do know that their family has paid a very high price for their years of pro-life ministry. I know their homes have been attacked, they've been attacked physically themselves, they've been sued over ridiculous matters. But whenever you speak to any of the Scheidlers, they are always joy-filled, wonderful, prayerful people. And that's just an indication to us that when you're doing God's work, no matter the trials, you find joy. So it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Eric Scheidler.
It truly is an honor to be here. I can't tell you how blessed I feel to be able to address you here in Rockford today. The first thing I want to say to you, on behalf of the Pro-Life Action League and on behalf of the entire pro-life movement across the country, thank you, Rockford. Thank you, Rockford, for this incredible gift that you have given to the pro-life movement in shutting down this abortion facility. Thank you, Lord, for choosing Rockford for this incredible symbol. All across the country, people are excited to hear about this news. The rejoicing, because this place is so notorious. This was one of the worst abortuaries, as you well know, one of the worst abortuaries in the entire nation, in the entire world, indeed, certainly in the Western world. And that this place shut down is a tremendous victory. It's a tremendous encouragement to people all over the country. Even in Europe, where I have many and growing pro-life contacts, people were excited to hear about this. At the same time, it's an incredible scandal that it has to get that bad before the state will step in. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what we can do to try to get the state to be more responsive to the other horrible abortion clinics. All of them are horrible places all around the state. Now, I see the closing of this Rockford abortion facility as one of the really important new pro-life events of this year. 2012 is proving to be, so far, one of the most heated years I've ever seen. Now, I grew up in the movement when I was 6 years old, when my father, Joe Scheidler, first started to fight abortion. I've been working full-time in pro-life for almost now 10 years. And of course, part-time as a kid, going to protests and such like through high school and college. This truly is, I think, a year like none I've ever seen before. But the funny thing is, I keep saying that. Every February or March, I say, oh my goodness, this is the worst, this is the hottest year we've had. I've never been so busy before. You know, when I write these newsletters calling on Pro-Life Action League donors to help us to carry on the fight over the next few months, and I'm afraid one of them's going to say, you know, you keep saying it's the most difficult year you've faced, but didn't you say that last year and the year before that and the year before that? I mean, it's true. But it's true that I said it, and it's also true that it's true year after year. And I think the thing that really happened to kind of up the fire on the pro-life movement was the election of Barack Obama, the most pro-abortion president in U.S. history. I mean, truly, he makes Bill Clinton look like a pro-lifer almost. He's that bad. The way that he has implemented every pro-abortion policy. You know, he's upset almost every one of his constituencies. He hasn't pulled the troops out of Afghanistan. He hasn't shut down Guantanamo. He hasn't got us all driving cars that run on rice. The environmentalists are mad at him, but who's not mad at Barack Obama? Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood is still happy with Barack Obama.